My name is Francois Martel, and today I'm going to walk you through the first GenAI Powered SRE presented to you by Newbird. If you're like most SREs, your days are long and hard, and your team is fighting a battle that it cannot win, and it's only getting worse. And really, the paradox is that more visibility is resulting in less clarity. So why is that? We're seeing more and more applications being deployed, especially now with GenAI. Your developers are more productive creating applications. And the cloud architectures are getting more dynamic and complex, right? Between microservices, serverless, all these components interacting. You've got infrastructure level architecture, you've got application level architecture, and your telemetry is just producing millions and millions of data points, right? And we've built really great telemetry solutions that help you visualize all this information to analyze what's going on. But the dashboards are built ahead of time based on the problems that the dashboard builders are trying to help you solve. However, as these complex systems evolve over time, it's a never-ending battle, and we have more and more dashboards, and the humans, the SREs, have to go in and correlate across dashboards and do these investigations for more and more alerts, hoping that the alerts were configured right in the first place, right? So it's a constantly increasing workload, volume, and complexity, and in the end, it results in increasing mean time to resolution, missed SLAs, highly skilled team members doing busy work, and eventually, if not burning out, wanting to change roles. So that's the problem. And as I mentioned, more telemetry is not helping. Everybody's got an average of 5 different observability tools, according to Grafana's observability survey of 2023. And, as we add more of these tools, it's not helping. So if you can add more observability, what else can you do, right? Hiring and outsourcing is actually not just expensive, but it's hitting against the problem with talent scarcity. This Gartner survey of board of directors highlights that the number one issue is this talent shortage, and specifically business disruption due to these talent shortages. And interestingly, the second item on the list is actually the need to move to a blended workforce model. So this is where Hawkeye steps in. Hawkeye is the name of the SRE, the GenAI Powered SRE that Newbird created for your teams to move from this constant firefighting nightmare and move into a more satisfying kind of job. So first thing we'll do is reduce your MTTR, right? We can immediately get to investigate an issue using your existing telemetry data in order to perform an investigation, explain the root cause, and recommend remediation steps. So up to 90% reduction of your MTTR based on the type of issue. Hawkeye then obviously reduces a lot of the busy work, right? So if we can investigate and explain most of your issues, your SRE team can start focusing on optimization, automation, and innovation, improving their job satisfaction and your system resilience and uptime. Finally, Hawkeye is paid by the hour and can scale infinitely to the number of issues you have, right? So if you hire Hawkeye, you're always going to have the right amount of SREs on your team. If there's more work, Hawkeye will do more work. So with all that context, let's jump right into a demo. So we're going to go into Hawkeye and let's go to the home screen, and we'll walk you through a little bit of the setup first, right? So you go to connections and you connect to your cloud environment, right? So you're going to first connect to AWS or Azure today and GCP in the future. And what you need is to provide a cross-account access to Hawkeye that's going to be read-only and only scoped to your CloudWatch and CloudTrail information so that we can kind of look at the metrics and the configuration changes. So you're going to set that up in Amazon in your console, and there's instructions here on how to do this. We've got security guides for your security team to review. This is a read-only role, and the data is never stored. So once you have your connection to AWS, you're most likely going to want to add something like PagerDuty to let Hawkeye automatically start investigating incidents reported to PagerDuty. And then you could also configure, things like Datadog, Sysdig, Dynatrace, Elasticsearch, Splunk, all your existing telemetry solutions. But you could also configure things like GitHub, ServiceNow, to get access to more of the existing tickets that were in ServiceNow, for example, or your Git commits to understand, was there some recent changes that might explain what's going on in the system. Once you have your connections, then you set up projects, and projects have connections. So here you see I've got this UPS demo environment. It's got these connections. Now I can start asking questions, and I can start with like open-ended questions, right? So I've got some suggested questions here, or I can go in and say, have there been any 4xx errors on my gateway in the last 24 hours? So here I'm not investigating a specific issue, I'm just asking an open-ended question, and we'll see a little bit what Hawkeye does with this. First is going to, make sure it understands your intent. It's going to build a plan. So you see the plan here being reflected as what's up next, right? So it's going to first find out what is the total count of 4xx errors in the last 24 hours. Then it's going to look for the distribution of different 4xx error codes. It's going to look for peak times where those occurred. So it has a whole plan, but you'll see that it's going to plan, get data, do some more planning. So this whole process is basically what makes Hawkeye unique. It's leveraging the LLMs for its reasoning capabilities, but in a very controlled way. So we have certain patterns of investigation. So we're not just letting it go run wild and come up with any type of investigation. It's very controlled. The tool that we provide in our agentic implementation is a data access tool that really simplifies the LLM's job of getting telemetry across all these different types of systems, right? So it could be logs, metrics, config changes, etc. It's going to all be accessed in the same way by this deterministic data access layer that's actually declarative, that the LLM can easily configure. So it's basically writing data access programs in a syntax that we've created for it to go and request information. Based on that information that we're passing back to the LLM, and we're not passing the raw information to the LLM, by the way, we're really helping the LLM understand this information, and then we're doing some of the correlation outside of the LLM, and then providing that information to the LLM for it to reason about that information and iterate on the problem statement. And finally, it's going to start converging at some point, because it might change its plan. It might go back and say, oh, I need different information now. But eventually it's going to converge and create a root cause analysis and build an action plan for resolution if appropriate. So this results in no hallucination. The data is not copied, right? So your data stays secure. We're only accessing what we need. We're not moving all your telemetry data into Newbird's environment. It's all ephemeral. There's no training on your data. And this results in no time wasted for your investigations, fast and accurate results, lower mean time to resolution. And we provide a mechanism to do reinforced learning on the actual plans, not the data, right? So the plans that are being formulated um, for the investigations, that's what we're doing reinforcement learning on. Going back to our investigation here, it's finally wrapped up. And you see the final chain of thought with intermediate results here. So it came back with some information about an API gateway with errors. It found 194 errors. It did the highest error rate in the past hour next. So if you remember earlier, that was not the second step in the process. So it apparently adapted its plan based on the first step and the results that were pulled back. And then you can actually see some of these results. You can visualize them. So I've got different visualizations for the information that was returned. And sometimes it'll be just a table form these are basically factual information coming back from the telemetry sources that we then use to create the analysis. So here, let's go look at what happens when you have a PagerDuty incident. So here I have all my interactions, and I'm going to see these PagerDuty incidents. So this is the PagerDuty incident, and on the left here, I have the timeline, if you will, of the investigation and the different interactions, right? So in the first step here, I've got the alert. Second step is the result of the automatically triggered investigation. So I can jump right into the analysis and see exactly what was going on. I can ask my follow-up questions, do the same things that I showed you earlier. In my case, I came and I looked at this alert and I thought, hey, I need more information. So I asked for a kubectl command that would give me such information. And it went and got a lot of information before showing me the kubectl command. It just decided to provide me with a lot of additional information about my status of pods in the cluster, notable pods. So it highlighted some notable pods. The original incident had to do with my replicas, right? So it has that full context of the incidents when it's doing my follow-up queries, finding more information, drilling into the problem. And it gave me a code block with this kubectl command that I can now copy paste. If a resolution was identified instead of just a root cause analysis, I would get these code blocks. So here's a Lambda function you can copy paste to execute. Today, we're not actually taking action, but we're providing you with the tools to take action. So you can have these code blocks as part of the results. Hopefully, you're going to see, based on this demonstration, how Hawkeye can really change your SRE teams for the better. Reduce your MTTR, get you away from doing the chasing incidents and writing explanations and doing root cause analysis, and having a teammate that can really scale with the problems, provide you with really clear explanations of what's going on so that you can focus on making the systems better and more resilient and increasing your uptime. So if you want to get in touch with us, go to newbird.ai, fill out the contact us form. We will be very happy to work with you. We're looking for customers to take this journey with us and change the world of SREs. Let's do it.